Hey Misophonia Matters. So wow, it's been a very long day. I've been moving in my boyfriend at the University of Alabama, and it reminded me I did want to share a story with you guys about me and my boyfriend in Misophonia. So we've been together for a little over 2 years. So of course, being with somebody for that long, you are naturally going to get some misophonic responses. Of course, misophonia is a lifelong disease, unfortunately, but I'm really fortunate that my boyfriend is super accepting of it and super helpful. By the way, let me just show you a quick tour of like his room and everything because I'm super proud of it and I just decorated it. So they looked up and got a pretty big suite style door. Here's their little living room. Walking this way is their little bathroom and their kitchen, and that is his roommate's room. And I just put up these cool LED lights in his room. So hopefully that'll be nice and calming and cool for him. Him and his brother are going out to get that TV set up, but yeah. Okay, back to the story. So I'm basically making this whole video about how to help your family member cope with misophonia because when I had my last misophonia attack, my boyfriend just had no clue what to do and was asking me, what can I do to help you and what is going on? Okay, by the way, I'm sorry I look so like disgusting right now because I've been working hard all day and everything, and this is kind of an impromptu little video. But I did want to tell you a little bit about misophonia and how to handle misophonia as a family member. So unfortunately, sometimes misophonia can seem super directed at a certain family member, and it can be really hurtful. So a lot of the times it can bring emotions like anger and just general unhappiness in the family, and it can cause a lot of tension. Here's a few tips that me and my family have worked out to help me cope with my misophonia. Number 1, as you probably know, meals can be really hard for a person with misophonia. So I'm lucky because my family gives me a little lenience on family dinners and eating together. Sorry, that was slipping. So of course, eating as a family can always be a good family bonding experience and a good way to catch up and everything. But if you can't find some other ways to let that misophonic person in your family relax for a little bit during that time and stay away from the eating and the triggering noises, it can be a really great solution for everybody. Maybe find some other ways you can spend time together. For example, my family might go swim or play music together. We all play instruments, but yeah, there's a lot of other things you can do as a family rather than eating, and maybe as a misophonic person, you can propose to your family other ideas rather than sitting around the dinner table sort of struggling in silence over there. And that's really not an easy one sometimes as a misophonic person because a lot of families do consider that a big part of family time, eating together in a lot of cultures is really important. So you could consider just, giving that lenience to that family member and spending some time in other situations. So another way a family member or friend can help a misophonic person would be communication. So a lot of misophonic people can have a lot of different preferences for how they like to calm down or how they like to displace themselves from any triggering situations. So something that would go a long way would be to ask the person with misophonia how you want them to care for them. For example, sometimes I do have triggering sounds when my boyfriend is chewing, and I like to just go away from the room and just calm down and maybe even finish my meal over there. So by simply dismissing myself from the room, maybe even having like a code word for leaving the room, if it's in a family situation, it could be like, dog, I need to go in the other room. So yeah, having a keyword and just simply communicating different solutions to sort of concealing that misophonia sometimes can be super helpful to that misophonic person. Also, misophonia can definitely be hurtful to different relationships. because a lot of the times it can feel like avoidance that's because of the other person who doesn't have misophonia. For example, a lot of the times I have to stay away from my mom because she has a lot of triggering sounds for me. This isn't because I don't love my mom and I don't want to be around her. It's because I am having those misophonic reactions and it is physically making me panic and having those fight or flight responses. So communication can be a good way of just letting the person you have the relationship with know that it's not personal and that you just want to dismiss yourself from the situation and make yourself feel better and calm down. Also, as a misophonic person, I can definitely say that when I inform others that it is a lifelong, uncurable, not well known about disease, it gives me a little bit of assurance that people know what's going on and that sort of misophonia is a real thing, and of course that it matters. So considering communication and just talking to a misophonic person can really help alleviate any tensions in those relationships and really help the misophonic person feel better about having this disease. So the next one is a little bit of a tricky one because when someone is having a misophonic reaction, it can come in the form of anger or even violence. So this one's a little icky, but try your best to remain calm and easy during a misophonic attack. So, for example, it might be really tough for a misophonic person to be in this situation, and while they're in distress, having someone angry at them is going to make it 10 times worse. So in order to help them alleviate it, you can try comforting them. They may not like that, or just try staying away, or just going back to communication. Ask the misophonic person what they want you to do in case of a really strong misophonic reaction. Having misophonia is extremely difficult and challenging, so make sure to be lenient and know that not all of the time will a misophonic person be able to cope with their reactions and try to conceal it. So just be careful with what you tell them and try your best to remain calm during an episode. Please don't take misophonic reactions personally. It makes everything a lot harder and more difficult for that person with misophonia. It's not about you. It really is just the triggers that happen, and misophonic people can't control that. So yeah, try to just keep your emotions out of the way when they're having those strong emotions. It'll make things so much worse. So my next tip would be give some lenience as well on how they cope with their misophonia. Not to say that you should accept them being violent or yelling or anything, but if they want to wear AirPods or go into a different room or use distraction techniques or just trying to calm down using different skills, try not to make a scene out of it and try not to judge them. That can just feel really bad because they're trying their best to calm their misophonia. And also it can, as a misophonic teenager, it can be really hard not to look just stupid like in class, like trying to cope with it. So if you have a relationship with a loved one who has misophonia, just try not to make fun of them or anything while they're trying to cope, and especially try not to get mad at them is the main thing. Once again, keep in mind, your emotions are also valid as the loved one, but it is really hard not to take those misophonic reactions towards you personally. So just keep that in mind and keep those communication skills going with your loved one. So I don't know if you know, but my site is actually up and running. If you want to check that out, it is kind of a long link, so I'll put it in the description box below. Thank you so much for your recent support of my YouTube page, by the way. Sorry, this is like a very unprofessional impromptu video, but I did just have like that time and I wanted to talk to you guys about being in a family with someone with misophonia. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and remember, misophonia matters and you are not crazy. One quick reminder, if you are willing to, please share this video with anyone you know. The whole point of this page is about misophonia activism and awareness, so try your best to send that to as many people as you can, and like and subscribe. Thank you.